what exactly is inside the mind of a saxophone player? As of now, I'm not entirely sure, because despite all the instruments that I do play, saxophone isn't one of them. But today we are solving that mystery because my friend Cameron, he is a saxophone player. I have a few questions about the saxophone and saxophone players that he doesn't know I'm gonna ask him. And the cherry on top, you're gonna hear him play on a couple tunes as well. Spoiler alert, he's pretty good. So grab a seat and get cozy because today's video is gonna be a fun one. So, Cameron, yes, I just said your name, but I figured we can go ahead, introduce yourself, let the audience know who you are and kind of what you're about.
Yeah, my name is Camron, and you know, I just met Israel through music and stuff like that. I'm a woodwind player, and here I'm here to share stuff about saxophone with Israel, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about today.
I have a couple questions for you. Two of them, I would say, you know, easy questions, not questions where it's like there's a right or wrong answer.
Okay.
But I am going to surprise you with a third question that I think you will enjoy.
Okay.
I think you'll get it right, but I want to see if you'll get it.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, so the first question I want to ask is, you playing the saxophone now, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but saxophone's not your first instrument that you picked up, right?
No, it's actually my second instrument. My first instrument was flute, which I picked up in 5th grade back in elementary school.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And that was actually going to be my question. So, like, there's many different reasons that people go about getting a certain instrument. And so I'm just like curious, like, especially with saxophone not being your first instrument, like, how did you get to the point where it's like, hey, I want to like step into saxophone? Because some people, you know, go into it right off the jump, like, oh, I want to go for saxophone, but you already started with something else.
Yeah.
Then you ended up with the saxophone. So how'd you go about deciding that?
It's kind of a weird story. So I started flute so I could play, you know, at school. Yeah. And so I was doing that, and it was in middle school. It was 7th or 8th grade. I wanted to join the jazz band, right? And so jazz band was early in the year. You had to be there an hour before school starts. And so I showed up with my flute, and I was like, hey, let me in. And they're like, oh, sorry, we can't have a flute player, which you absolutely can't have flute in jazz.
You can have flute in jazz.
But for the school jazz band, they didn't really have like flute parts and stuff, so they said, oh, you gotta do something else. And so I was like, well, I'll learn anything. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And a couple of the upperclassmen at that point, and the school I went to, we were called a secondary school, so it was middle school and high school. So some of the older high schoolers, they took me out into the hall and they're like, hey, we're gonna teach you saxophone real quick. So I just grabbed some like dirty, like musty old like saxophone that was like laying in the back of the classroom, and they took me out to the hall, and for like the next like couple weeks they just showed me how to play saxophone. And so I just joined the school jazz band to play saxophone, and I just haven't stopped playing saxophone since.
Wow. So it wasn't some strategy like, ooh, I'm gonna become an elite musician and I must learn all the woodwind instruments, saxophone's just next on the list. It was like your friends just literally like did it in secret. Like they just did it behind your back.
And it was okay, right? I wasn't against it because I enjoyed flute, and I still do enjoy flute. I play a lot of flute, but you know, saxophone's like a cool instrument. A lot of people
It's pretty
see,
cool.
yeah, and they're like, oh,
even though I don't play it.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people think sax is cool. So when I was told that I have to learn sax, I was like, oh, that's okay.
That's okay. It's cool anyway.
Exactly. But no, I did not join like the school jazz band with the intent of learning saxophone. It just kind of ended up that way.
You wanted to join the jazz band.
Yes.
The saxophone was your gateway into doing that.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2.
Okay.
What would you say are some of the pros and cons of playing saxophone? It could be anything from just like the music you end up having to play, or like the maintenance and just upkeep of this, like whatever. Like what are the pros and cons?
Con.
Oh, starting off with the con.
Yeah,
Okay.
Too many ladies. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh man.
No.
Hey, if you're single, just play the saxophone. You're good.
No. I think when it comes to like for somebody who's never played saxophone, right? I don't think you should ever judge an instrument off of maintenance or stuff like that.
True,
I think
yeah.
the most important part of a musical instrument is how it sounds. What music is it making, right? So if you haven't played an instrument, you're looking to pick something. Just listen around and see what you like, and then I would make a decision just off of that. However, for some of you who have already picked saxophone and are like newer, and kind of know want to know what's ahead, maintenance is pretty easy for the most part. You just have to make sure it's dry and not leaving it out. Maybe not as easy as like a trumpet or something, as far as like putting it together and just like keeping it as like a instrument, right?
Okay,
There's maybe a couple things I think to think of. Maybe you're a parent, you have a child who's picking up saxophone. Something you have to keep in mind is there are consumables on saxophone. You do have to buy a lot of reeds and make sure they get a neck strap that's comfortable, because especially if they're playing at school, right?
Yeah.
And you're wearing a neck strap all day, oh man, it hurts. Get a rough neck strap will hurt, so make sure you have a nice neck strap. And those are just things I think a lot of people don't like consider, because they're like accessories, but they're very important parts of the instrument. As far as like what to expect musically, I think from the instrument, the saxophone for a wind instrument, I think is very flexible. I feel like when a lot of people think of the saxophone or jazz, like they kind of correlate, right? Like you think of, oh, what's an instrument that plays jazz? Oh, saxophone.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
Or the other way around, you think of like, oh, I've got a saxophone, what should I play? And somebody's always like, oh, I've got these jazz songs that you should play, right? So, and I think kind of the reason behind that is it's a very flexible instrument. Of course, there's that kind of tone behind it, right? It is when the saxophone is invented, it's got like a weird blend between kind of brass and woodwind instruments. To where you do have a little bit of that brashness if you want, but you can also play it very like silky, if you have the right technique and you have the right like mouthpiece and stuff like that. So I think saxophone's a very flexible instrument. That's kind of one of the things I like about it, is that when I play, I can do all these bends and I can like very easily manipulate my tone to like be kind of all over the place.
With every instrument, there's some like upkeep and maintenance to it, and I guess. I mean, it's just part of the cost of having an instrument, which isn't bad, of course. It's just, but I think playing the instrument and getting involved with music in that way is worth it, regardless.
I absolutely, well, you and I are musicians. Of course.
I mean, we're biased, so yeah, just a little bit.
You're biased because you're watching this.
Yes, that's true.
When you have friends, you got to make sure you hang out with them and take care of them and stuff. I think having an instrument to say, well, you got to make sure you take care of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. One more question, but there are some parts to it.
Okay.
And to make sure the answer is correct, I'm going to take a second and associate the Googles and make sure whatever answer you're going to give me is actually the right answer.
Oh, okay, so there's a wrong answer.
There is a wrong.
Okay,
as I said, I think you'll be good. I guess you could say to answer the question, there's 4 sections to it.
Oh.
So
Okay.
there's 4 main saxophones that you'll commonly see.
Right.
And we'll list them in order, kind of like range that they play in. So there's soprano saxophone, alto saxophone, which you have here today, tenor saxophone, and baritone saxophone, or bari for short. All those saxophones are not in the same key.
Correct.
So, do you know what key each of the 4 saxophones are in?
Yes.
At least, please at least get this one right.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the answers on screen right now, so you guys will know the answers before he says them.
Okay.
So we can't just be like he said them and like, oh yeah, that's right, and here's like, no,
if I get it wrong,
we're
I'm
actually testing him now.
I'm gonna confidently give the answer because I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Oh, ooh.
So out of the 4 main saxophones, every other saxophone is in the same key. So soprano and then tenor saxophone are B flat instruments, and then alto and bari sax or baritone sax are E flat instruments. Was that correct?
You're right.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I'll be honest. So the one I looked up,
Yeah.
the one I just looked up just now was soprano saxophone. That one was the one I actually wasn't 100% sure on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I knew what the keys that alto, tenor, and bari were in because I've written music for them before.
There are a couple other saxophones too, or like several other saxophones that are like weird that you almost never see. Most people who play them, I think, play them because it's like has that weirdness factor to them.
Yeah.
But there's like one smaller than soprano saxophone, or there's like a C melody, which
C melody
is
saxophone?
Yeah, it's in the key of C.
Oh.
It's concert pitch, so C is C.
Okay.
And that one is weird. If you look at it, it has a body similar to an alto saxophone, and then it has a neck similar to like a tenor saxophone.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I've seen that.
have
It's
you?
just
Yeah.
literally looks like a tiny alto almost.
It's yeah, kind of.
Almost kinda?
It's I would say it's pretty close to alto size.
Okay.
But yeah, it's yes. So there's also that, and that's not one of like the common ones, right? But if you dive into the sax world, you'll probably hear of a C melody at some point.
Any last things you would like the viewers to know about saxophone?
Yeah.
Final thoughts about saxophone.
Saxophone is super duper awesome. If you are a saxophone player, I already think you're super duper awesome, and we are already friends. But I think that goes true with every instrument. Every instrument has their strengths and weaknesses and what they, like biases, I guess, what they lean towards. But yeah, if you think sax is awesome, just start doing it. Don't overthink it. Don't think about everything else that goes with it. Just get a saxophone wherever you can, as long as it like works, and just start playing, and then figure out everything else from there.
Big thanks again to my friend Camron for joining me on this video. I couldn't have done it without him. Like, literally, I couldn't have. I don't play saxophone. I'll leave a link to his Instagram in the description. Go ahead and show him some love and give him a follow. This was a pretty fun video to make. Hopefully you learned a little something about saxophone and what one of its players is like. Until next time, I hope you guys hear some good music today, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll be honest, I titled them Alto Sax Song 1 and Alto Sax Song 2.
Actually says that on the sheet music
It actually,
that I got.
no, let's show them. They're not gonna
I'll
believe
grab
us.
it.
It actually literally says Alto Sax Song 1, Alto Sax Song 2.
Yeah.
I promise I'll get more creative with the song names, but yeah.